Grew up without a father. It's a part of my story. It's a part of my life. Met my dad last year for the first time in 30 years. Drove across Indiana in order to meet my father. I tracked him down with a friend in the district attorney's office. Imagine, meeting your dad. He has no idea that he hasn't kept in touch with me or kept up with me. And I knock on the door and basically explain, I'm Don Miller, I'm your son, I'm a writer. I just wrote a book about you. It's at your local bookstore. It's only slightly favorable, but I didn't have a lot to work with. And I'm glad you have all your hair. The father issue is a huge issue in my life. And men have trouble sometimes talking about that issue and still sounding masculine. Let me take that back. They have trouble talking about that issue and still be masculine. Barack Obama has no problem talking about that issue from a position of strength and from a position of success, from a position of accomplishment, and from a position of hope. Barack's dad left when he was about 2 years old, went back to Kenya. And like me, Barack didn't meet his father until much later in life, but he had mentors, and he understands the importance of the family. So we have a Democrat who's saying, look, government cannot fix you. Big government will not fix this issue. We have to actually, really think about the family and understand it as a unit that can rebuild America. And fathers have to stay with their families. If you go to my website right now, donaldmillerwords.com, I've put Barack Obama's the sermon that he gave at a church on Father's Day. And one of the wonderful things he says in that sermon is, any idiot can have a kid. But it takes a man to stay with that kid. And he also talks about his relationship with his heavenly Father. I literally sat there when I listened to that talk with just tears in my eyes. And I thought, this man understands. He actually gets it. 50% of guys who grow up without dads won't graduate from high school. 50%. 75% of people in prison grew up in completely fatherless homes. So he understands the issue. Government is not going to nurture these kids. That was very important to me. Barack Obama understands that healthcare is a trillion-dollar industry and an issue. It covers a lot of stuff. We have, I think, a moral obligation to take care of the least of these. And by the way, when we provide health care for young women who are pregnant and don't know what to do about that pregnancy, you will see the abortion rate drop. If you care about that issue, it's a holistic issue. If you care about that issue, you have to care about health care. People deserve to be well. They deserve to be well. And I think what we have to do as Christians is say, where would Jesus stand on whether or not that I would sacrifice a little of my cash to provide healthcare for somebody, and you know what, to provide healthcare for a small, very tiny group of people who might take advantage of it. Is Jesus okay with that? I think he's probably okay with that, to reach the people who really need it.